Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's Saturday Spotlight. I'm super excited to have you. This week, we have the vibrant Laura Espinal Corpeno with us today. She is a YA action-adventure author, and I can't wait for you all to meet her. Hi, Laura. How are you?
Hello. I'm doing good. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so freaking excited.
Yeah, this is excellent. So I know that you've written two stories. The one I'm most familiar with is called The Lux Establishments. What are your two books about?
Okay, so The Lux Establishments was actually the first book I ever published. So it was basically my introduction to the world. Here, I have it right over here. But this is the old cover, but I'll get to that later. So this is the first story I ever published, and it's a nice action-adventure following the main character, Amelia de Santos, into a very mysterious city, and many things are unknown. It has nice elements of mystery, action, and overall, I must say, it's a fun time.
It's so fun. What kind of led you down like that path for that type of idea? Because it's a pretty unique idea to enter this, sublime kind of pristine world, and then to, start to challenge it and start to wonder about what's going on around you when everything seems, pretty much perfect.
It's a funny story, but this story idea actually came to me through a dream. I know a lot of authors say that, but it was actually a dream, and it took a little while for me to piece everything together, and I wrote everything down, and then I decided to dive into this my freshman year of high school, and I finished it towards my senior year.
That's so cool. I love that you were able to do that so young. I think a lot of writers, at least that I've met, have all started when they were, in high school. I know the first book I read, or the first book I wrote, which is not the first book I published, I started when I was right around 13, 14. So there might be something to that year, where that's just kind of where our brains kind of open up and start thinking about these things. So that's really cool.
Thank
Now,
you.
you said that's your first book, right?
The first one I ever published, yeah.
Okay, so then what's your second one?
Okay, so my second one, I just finished it, and it's much longer than the Lux Establishments. It ended up being 129,000 words, which is over my expected word count, but it's this one. This is my personal copy. I had a new cover and everything, but this is my first copy I had over on Wattpad, because that's where I was publishing the story, trying to get more of active response and readership, and it helped out a lot actually in the actual development. And I know Wattpad is one of those places where people tend to read more fan fiction, but this was one of those stories that I just wanted to get out there quicker and to see the reaction, because I'm very, very new to fantasy. So it was a very nice learning experience for me to get this book done. And I just finished it literally last week, so I'm so happy to be talking about it with you.
That's perfect. What great timing we have then, right?
Yeah.
So then what's kind of the backstory? I know you publish it on Wattpad, and it's obviously much longer, but what's kind of the feel? Still action adventure, or?
For some reason, I can't seem to escape the mystery aspect of things, because I always love a good mystery. I love mysteries, especially mysteries dating to the Victorian era, because I'm a huge fan of Enola Holmes, and I guess that part of me just needs to incorporate mystery. So I title it as a fantasy adventure, and this story tends to lead that way, but it has nice elements of mystery that I just think is part of me as a writer at this point.
That's so awesome. I mean, everyone loves a good mystery, right? That's why Agatha Christie is so timeless.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Enola Holmes is fantastic, too. I love that twist on the Holmes family line.
Me too. I love that.
That's great. So I know you said that it was on Wattpad. You just finished it, and you had mentioned kind of alluding to new covers for both of your books. Is that right?
Oh, that is very true, yes. So I had the pleasure of working with an amazing artist by the name of Andreas Rocha. He's on Instagram at andreas.rocha, and he's an amazing artist that redid the Lux Establishments. the whole cover. It's a full wraparound. I wish I had it. Like, I'm going to show you. Hopefully it focuses on it. But as I look for it, I'll continue talking. It really captured the essence of what I was trying to put out, and he was an amazing guy to work with, and I look forward to working with him more. But I don't know if the camera's going to pick this up, but here is the cover. Like, I guess this is like a quick exclusive cover reveal. I know if it doesn't focus, I'm sorry, but a quick little cover reveal. It's an exclusive to this interview because I haven't revealed it on my Instagram just yet. So by the time we're recording this, it's going to be probably perfect timing. So I had the pleasure of working with him, and I'm going to get that in as soon as I can. And for Roxy the Witch, which is like not the official title of the fantasy adventure, but just like the maybe title I like to call it, I haven't actually started the cover process. I made my own cover for that one, but I honestly had a blast working with Andreas, and I feel like he really captured the essence. So I'm so happy I get to share this with you. Again, thank you for having me on.
Oh my gosh, my absolute pleasure. And I love cover reveals and all of those good things. You had said that you have a maybe title for your second book, and I sympathize with that so much. I'm on the last book of my trilogy, and I think we're on our fourth or fifth title, because I'll come up with something and then it's like a week later and then I'm not so thrilled about it as I was a week before. So I sympathize. Are titles something that that are normally hard for you? Do they normally come pretty easy? What's kind of your relationship with them?
They're kind of hard for me. I feel like naming the character, naming the world, and like everything else is super easy for me. But for some reason, like creating a nice like snappy title is harder. And I found that to be the case for my fantasy adventure. And I just have it titled Roxy the Witch because the protagonist's name is Roxy Sageheart. So I just have it titled like that, and the part that I was working on in the cover I previously showed you. But for the Lux Establishments, I think it was easier because it kind of made sense. Like the place is called the Lux Establishments, and the subtitle makes sense like with the story. But let me just say, for Roxy the Witch, if someone suggested that I named it Agents of Magic, and I think that is 100 times better than Roxy the Witch in my opinion. So I think I'm going to stick to that.
I get it. Titles are so hard, and so much rides on the title, right? Mm-hmm. Because you want to be able to describe what the book's about without revealing too much of what the book's about. Like there's this weird intermediary place of like giving and hiding information that titles are supposed to do while also being catchy and easy to read and see and understand and all of these things. There's an art to it, I think, and they can be a bit tricky.
It's true. It can be tricky, but when that real title finally flourishes, it's such a nice feeling because, like, yeah, I named that book, and it has such a nice, like, a catchy feeling, and you just love it. So I feel like if it wasn't for the fact like I uploaded a little like aesthetic reel to Instagram and someone suggested made it add the Agents of Magic, then I probably would have still been pondering what to call this story.
I love it. Well, I love that you're getting closer to it every day. I certainly sympathize, especially with my current work. It's given me a much harder time than any of my previous works. So I get that. You've alluded to a couple of, your social medias and things like that. Do you have any events or promotions, things like that coming up that you want either our viewers today to know about or that you'll be posting about soon?
Oh, yes, I do. So recently I added a merch line to my podcast. My podcast is named Softest Lore, and I have merch now. And I'm so happy about it. Isn't it cute?
It's adorable.
So, thank you. So I'm so excited to announce that I now have merch to go with my podcast. And it was such a passion project to me because I was able to work with a bunch of nice artists, and their designs are so beautiful. And I made sure to credit them because I made a reveal leading up to the merch announcement. I made sure to credit them because they're such amazing artists, and I'm obsessed with this tote bag, and this tote bag is going to be nice for a bunch of indie reads because I just love indie reads.
Me too. And I think indie reads get overlooked so much.
Mhm.
And sometimes they have a negative connotation about them, which is sad. But I really started getting into the indie reads once I was in the indie community, which is probably a little bit too late, but I'm there now, so I'll take that. But uh, honestly, one of my favorite books came from an indie author last year, and I still think about it all the time. And there's some really, really, really great finds out there.
It is. It's like I feel like our indie author community is so lovely because we get to meet through Instagram or Book Talk these lovely individuals, and we get to see into their world of writing and into their creative minds. And it's so nice when we have this wonderful community because I recently joined this indie author community, like officially joined it recently. And I just love the type of community we have, that we support each other, that we give each other advice when we need it. And overall, I feel like we're a big, happy family of indie authors. Everyone has such a bright, creative mind, so I'm so happy that there's many platforms out there to really give them a voice because they deserve it. They need the spotlight because these stories don't deserve to be overlooked at all. They deserve to be perceived and read and thoroughly enjoyed. So I'm happy that you have me here, by the way.
Oh, my pleasure. And I think, all of those compliments that you gave the indie community certainly reflect on you as well. You're a very bright light, and I think that that's always something that's, it's warming to be around, but it's a great energy to put out in the world too. So I'm so
Thank you.
glad that you're here and that we got to spend some time together. Before we go, I'd love for you to, list your socials for people that may want to find more about, the merch or book 2 or book 1. Where's the best place for people to find you, Laura?
So I'm mostly on Instagram, which is at SoftestLore, and I recently rejoined TikTok, which is the same handle at SoftestLore. There you can find me, and I'll have random updates, random posts, and mostly I'll have fun posts for you to interact with, and reels, which I'm starting to learn because indie author marketing is hard. So I'm trying. So please go check me out over there. I post a bunch of random stuff, and of course my episodes, and we'll have a blast together. So please go follow me.
I love it. I 100% believe you that anyone that follows you will have a blast. And I actually didn't know about your podcast before today, so I'll even be following that. It's cool. See, it's so good that we get this chance to sit together for like 15 minutes or so, because sometimes even if you're, kind of aware of someone else, there are things that come out that you're like, oh, that's so cool, and I didn't know it. So thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you so much for sharing about yourself and about your books. And thanks to all our viewers who tuned in today. We always appreciate that. I hope everyone has a good week. I hope everyone stays safe, and we'll see you all soon. All right. Bye.